It's 5 o'clock and it's time for the local law enforcement hour. This is your sheriff, John Myers, and our technical advisor, Maddie Hyde.
Hey, sir, how about you shut it for a second? We're already live.
So kick back and stay tuned and enjoy the show.
I want to cuss you right
No,
now.
no comment.
No comment.
You still
You're live.
You still sweating all the time when you're driving to work?
No, I'm not. I'm in a loner.
So here we are. Got you guys back.
We're back.
Yeah, how's it been going?
It's been going good.
Yeah.
Been hot.
Did
Summer.
when was that? When was that was back in June, wasn't it? June?
I wasn't here for that one. Molly filled in.
That's right.
I was at the dog meeting.
That's right.
I think it was in May or
I've been in May, 'cause I
May
think
or
before
late
Memorial Day,
June.
wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Probably was.
Yeah, because we had the big holiday coming up.
Yeah.
That's
We talked
right.
boating,
It was right. It was right before Memorial Day,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I wanted to get you guys back on here so we could talk about some of the stuff going on with hunting season.
Mm-hmm.
Hunting season's coming up quick. We got dove season opening up tomorrow.
That's right.
We were just talking about that. Has there been any changes with dove season? Is anything new?
No, not that I'm aware of.
You still allowed to shoot collared doves?
You are.
Is that, and y'all might have to lean up to the mic or adjust that mic where
Sorry.
you can be. Yeah, one of my supporters on the south end of the county, he tunes in on the radio station, and he says, "You guys just fade in and out all the time. You know, from getting away from the microphone. It's probably not as noticeable online, but anyway. So talking about dove season, we were just going over. What do y'all think? What determines a good dove hunt every year? Is it weather? Because they're a migratory bird, right?
Correct.
So do you have to have some hot weather north of here to push the birds south, or cold weather, or what determines whether we got birds in our area or not?
Well, I think there is, and Ethan, when you speak up, you're a dove expert. I'm not going to claim to be a dove expert. But we do have resident doves. So, of course, we have doves that stay here year-round. And they raise, again, you may catch me in a lie here, but I don't know. I mean, multiple hatches of doves through the year. So we have a lot of resident doves you can count on. They're going to be around.
Mm-hmm.
As far as that migration goes, again, a lot of that's going to be weather dependent, the time of the year. And I really don't know. You always hear people talk about, well, we just got a big cold front come through. Let's push the doves out. Well, I mean, that cold front a lot of times is hitting the entire U.S.
Right.
So I don't know if that really does have a lot of dictation on their migration.
You still got to have now to hunt. You got to have your small fish and game, right?
Type
Small
of
game,
one. Yeah.
yeah.
One
Type of
combo
one.
hunting fish.
Yep.
And then you got to have don't you have a migratory bird something?
It's
That's
like
correct.
a $2 license. Mainly that license is just to keep up with numbers, really. So you all's hunting.
But you got to have it
You got to have it.
if you're in the dove
You
field.
got to have it, yes.
So you're better off, and it's not automatic. You got to ask to have that added to your
Yes.
license.
Yeah, you have to purchase it like any other license.
So you got to have your license, your migratory bird permit.
Right.
Do you have to have your hunter safety education card with you?
That helps.
Yeah.
Is that required?
You have to have proof.
Yeah. Yeah.
And sometimes that is
which-
on your hunting license.
A lot of times, we can look that up and see on our system who has had hunter education, but really you're supposed to be able to prove that you've took the class. So in my wallet, I keep my hunter ed card with me all the time. So really, you need to have a picture of it or have it in your wallet. One.
Oh, so do you have a hard card
I do.
license?
My daughter has we bought her lifetime sportsman's license when she
Nice.
was real young.
Yeah.
For the $300 deal, I guess. What is it?
200.
Two hundred
It
if
would've
you
been
get it
200.
before they're 3 or something.
Yeah, we just
correct.
bought cows, and I think it was 200.
Yep.
And
It has went up though.
There it is right there.
Okay, yeah, so that's his original.
Yeah.
Mine looks way worse than that. Mine's the old orange one.
If you look
Yeah,
on the back,
I do
it'll say, or on the front it says Ken Reedy there. He's the one. Ken Reedy and Jeff Hummel. taught me.
Ken Reedy, you need to keep that. That'll be worth some money one day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Now, and these days, if you go on the app and buy your license, you can opt to pay a few extra bucks to get that hard card, is what we call it, license. And when that comes in the mail, if you've had hunter education, it'll show on the top of that license.
That's what I started to say. I think hers does. Her lifetime. No, it don't neither.
It may not, because a lot of times, you buy it when they're 2 years old.
That's right.
And you have that card prior to them having hunter education.
But so if for example, if she gave you her lifetime sportsman's license, could you run that license number and see that she's had her hunter safety education?
Absolutely.
Okay.
As long as everything's working according to the way it should with our technology,
Right.
we should be able to run it on our phone, radio, computer, whatever.
I have noticed, the older a person is, the less of a chance that their information is going to be updated in our system. Just, I don't know, it's because we lost records or what, but the newer generations that had the hunter ed recently, most of the time they're always in our system.
Yeah.
But going back to that lifetime license and the sportsman license, I get this question quite a bit when dove hunting or duck hunting. They say, well, I've got the sportsman license. Is there anything else I need to dove hunt? Well, the sportsman license covers everything you need, whether that's WMA permits, if you're hunting on one of our fields, your combo hunting fish, all of that. But it does not cover this migratory bird license that we were just talking about. It doesn't cover the federal duck stamp either. So for all of the people who do have a lifetime or a sportsman, make sure to get the.
You still got to have your migratory bird.
Yeah, and like I said,
That's
it's like I think it's $2.
It's $2 if you buy it with like the 01. But if you buy your sportsman's license, the same time you're buying your sportsman's license, you can get the free version of the migratory bird. So it's, we have the migratory bird, it's the Type 06. That's the one that costs $2. So if you just have a Type 01 hunt fish combo.
So if you order it online, if you do it all online and you screenshot it, the confirmation of where you purchased it, does anybody still get a paper migratory bird anymore?
Occasionally. Yeah.
But if you've got it on your phone, if you've got it screenshotted
that
on your
one.
phone
And
that you
I don't know if
purchased.
we talked about this last time, but we've got the TWRA on the Go app.
Mm-hmm.
And you can have your license on there. You can check in deer, turkey,
Yep.
all that.
I've got that
And
too.
A lot of people do that. They'll just pull that up and show it to you.
Is it on the camera? You can see it.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go.
TWRA app.
I got my social on there. Okay.
You got to have. You just got to have.
Too late.
Right,
Sorry, I
yeah,
can't delete
yeah.
that.
Right now, there's a couple of meth heads putting your information somewhere. They're going to order some crap on Amazon.
So there you go. Yeah, it's got. Sorry, I don't want to back away too much. I was going to show you. I won't show everybody else. But it's got my number. It's got my ID number, my date of birth on there. It's got 200 safety dates on there for some reason. Again, that's all that, but also has my boater
Did you
safety.
fail and have to take it again?
No, I don't think so. I don't recall.
I'm just kidding.
Like the boater safety course, I took it like 4 times just because I had to. Like when I got hired and rehired, it is a little tougher course, but it has that on there and it's got all your active licenses on there. So you could screenshot that, but most time you can pull it up in the field if you got service. So.
Got to have a plug in your shotgun.
That's right.
That's important.
Yep.
I always heard, and you can tell me if there's any truth to it or not, that if you get caught without a plug, the fine increases for every shell that you have in there over 3. Is there any truth to that?
No, I don't think so. We don't play that game in Lawrence County.
I can remember. I can remember. That's what they used to say. If you get caught without a plug in that shotgun, any shell that they can get in your gun over 3, that's like $75 a shell or something when you get fined.
That sounds like a Jeff Hummel story, right?
I don't know. So you got to have a plug. You got to have your migratory bird permit. You got to have your license. And 15's your limit.
Correct.
Right?
Yep, that's right.
And how many collared doves are you allowed?
It actually doesn't matter. On collared doves, you can have as many. It does not count towards your 15.
Okay. So
I'm not mistaken.
No, you're right.
Okay.
all right.
We We can check the guide to make sure.
What about pigeons? Can you shoot pigeons?
Shoot as many pigeons as you want to. Pile them up.
Is there any other birds out there that you can shoot that might be in the field?
What about crow this year? I'd have to
I'd have to
double check
look. That crow season dates,
the guide
it's
on.
all over the place.
it. Again, the federal
Let me
frame.
have one of these.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, you can help us out. The federal framework, and that's where, with doves, geese, ducks, crows. So the feds go to every state and say, you have this many hunting days for this species.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where,
Okay, if you
and
look
they
on
allow us.
page 20.
Okay, perfect. They allow us, to set those days.
It
But
is
we
open
can-
September 1st.
Yeah, and so that's where
Crow season?
Crow used not to be, if I'm not mistaken. I remember there were some seasons where it wasn't open during dove. And that's where everybody was always asking, like, why is it, crow season's only open Friday, Saturday, Sunday? That's a weird time. Well, I think that was to maximize the amount of across the year, across the board, huntable days.
I
that
got
people
into
could
crow
experience
hunting
that.
a long
But
time ago, and
it's
it's
right. It says it opens back up September 9th and goes through December 20th.
Correct.
Yep.
And then that's where it says it has a little superscript, number 3 up there, on that
Oh, it's
Link
only
there.
allowed on the weekends.
Yep.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday only. So
You only can hunt crow on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
can you eat crow on Friday, Saturday?
I see you can eat crow about any day of the week, can't you?
That's a fact.
But yeah, that's where it is important to have an up to date guide and to know those dates because
So
they do
what-
change.
What if you accidentally shoot a killdeer?
That would be hunting in closed season because there's not a season on killdeers or killdeer.
Is that some kind of a specifically protected bird, or is that just a non-migratory bird that's not in season?
Well, there's just not a season. So just like songbirds, cardinals, robins, killdeer. There's a lot of
Buzzards,
killdeers that go
hawks.
down.
Eagles.
Yeah, if there's not a season on them, it's closed.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like they're specially protected.
What's the fine on a killdeer?
Again, that's going to be relative. That's going to be relative to
$313.
313.
yeah.
That's went up a little bit. It
Yeah.
used to be 265.55. Don't ask me how I know that.
Sounds like you baked that before.
Yeah, a lot of that's relative to the county, but yeah, I mean most counties around here you can count on that being over $300 fine.
Does
All right.
And
everybody
cost.
still skip school on the opening day of dove season?
There's
I
a
mean,
lot.
that
There's a
was
lot.
that was like a big deal. Everybody skipped
My
school
daughter
on the
wanted to.
opening day.
Yeah.
I can't believe you're not letting her.
I don't have a place to go.
I'm sure you can find somewhere.
No.
It's sad.
I mean, we all skipped
it's
school.
sad, really. I mean, yeah, that was a thing, and
I mean, nobody
your-
went.
for your generation, for
I'm
our
sh-
generation, but man, we're losing a lot of hunters.
Yeah.
We're losing a lot of traditions.
Also, and I have this question. This is a question from me. I got invited to a dove hunt a couple of years ago, and I don't know what the law says on baiting a baited field. And honestly, I wouldn't have thought that this person that invited me on this hunt would have had a baited field, but it looked iffy to me. And so, can you hunt over seed on the ground?
Depends.
All right. So let's talk about the depends.
How much time you got?
I know you can.
How
I know
much
you
time have we
can't.
got?
I know you can't double sow. I know you can't. I know you can't drill wheat and then go back in there and broadcast wheat. I know that. But if you go in there, say 3 or 4 days, how long does it take for wheat to germinate? I mean, if you get a rain on it, what, 3 days, 4 days,
4
maybe?
days, yeah.
You know, you'll start seeing sprouts on it in
Yeah.
6 to 8 days or something.
Pretty easily, yeah.
So when you go up to a field, say you get a tip, hey, these guys are hunting over a baited field, and you go over there and check it. What are you looking for?
Anything that's not normal agricultural practices. So somebody that's a lot of times you see multiple sowings, which wouldn't be a normal agricultural practice.
If you see new seed with germinated seed.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
That's recalled double sowing.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that's not normally planted this time of year. So top sowing cracked corn is not a normal agricultural practice, right?
Can crack corn germinate?
I don't think so. So, if we see whole corn on top of the ground, we would expect that come from harvesting or manipulation. So you can manipulate standing grain. Even we do that in our dove fields. Like at Laurel Hill we're talking about, there's a lot of standing corn. I think there's still standing corn out there. It was supposed to be gone this week, so but you can harvest it, and for spillage from that harvest, that's legal to hunt over. You can bush hog it, you can manipulate it, so you can burn it down, disc it, mow it, whatever, and hunt over that. But, if you show up to a field and there was no corn planted there and there's corn all over the ground, we got to ask questions and figure out why that's there.
But you can do that with wheat, not corn.
Correct, because of UT Ag Extension planting dates, you can plant wheat this time of year.
Mm-hmm.
But it's got to fall under those normal agricultural practices.
So if you see crushed corn on top of the ground,
that's no bueno.
see,
Can't
why is
do
everybody doubt me when I do something smart? Rock salt and corn on top of the ground?
Yeah.
So did you hunt on a new
No,
legal field?
I didn't.
Are you sure?
I did not.
I don't know if I believe
I said
that.
because, I don't have terrible luck, but I don't have great luck
So
neither.
you turned around and left?
I've got mediocre luck. And, and of course, everybody knows who I am in Lawrence County, and I'm walking across this field.
Somebody would have snapped your picture, would have been over.
And as I'm walking across the field to go to the guy that invited me to the field, and I'm starting to see what's on top of the ground, and I get over there, and I don't want to tell him I don't want to be part of this or whatever. I just said, hey, look, I just want to walk over here and tell you I appreciate it, but I had some stuff come up at work and I got to go.
Yeah, there you go.
Which technically wasn't a lie. It technically wasn't a lie. But I got out of there because I said, yeah, this. I don't need a ticket. I don't need a ticket while I'm sheriff.
That's a good call.
It's not that I wouldn't just pay it.
You made a good choice.
Absolutely.
Just doesn't look good.
That's right.
But anyway, yeah, no harm, no foul. I turned around and I walked out of there.
Yeah.
What else we got coming up? Didn't we have a velvet hunt?
Yes.
Yep.
So
Did we-
technically, hunt season started, back last weekend.
Did we have any big bucks killed, or did y'all keep up with how many was killed in the area? Or
I think there was 8 killed,
We had 8 in Lawrence
25th,
County.
26th, 27th, and there was a couple pretty decent ones killed.
really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which, velvet hunt, it's one of them things that's so hot, and bugs are everywhere. Not many people are doing it, but
Couldn't pay me.
we did have a few killed.
Yeah.
No, that Sunday, the last day of it, that afternoon, it wasn't too bad.
Mm-hmm.
The weather wasn't, and I wished that I'd went
Yeah.
because the weather was pretty nice. But I didn't know. I mean, it's just with bow hunting. I don't like leaving deer overnight when I know that
Oh, yeah.
she shot a nice buck last year, and right at dark. Or no, it wasn't right at dark. It was like an hour before dark or an hour and a half before dark, and couldn't find any blood, no blood. Found some tracks where it went into a thicket, and then when we were getting ready to call it, we could hear him off in the thicket, maybe 50, 60 yards. We could hear him kind of gassing out.
Really?
Yeah, you could hear him,
Mm-hmm.
starting to peter out. So I said, let's just back out and we'll come back in the morning.
Yeah.
We go off in there, we'll kick him up, and then we'll be hunting on it. We went in there and she walked right to him the next morning.
Awesome.
Of course, it was hot and bugs was already all over him, and wasn't no point. And I don't like doing that. I love bow hunting, but I hate leaving deer overnight.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah.
I do too.
Yeah, it's kind of defeats the purpose.
Yeah.
That's right.
For me, anyway. What about any law changes coming up with the bag limits or anything in bow season and gun season? Or
As far as deer goes, we haven't had any. Just trying to think if we had any other bag limit changes, but I don't believe there has been. Ethan, do you know of any?
Nothing recent. Last year we had the top 94 change, and that was, the permit for the antlerless deer. So we got rid of that, and now you don't have to have that top 94 any longer unless you're hunting on a WMA. So
It's
So
not
is-
a quota hunt.
that's
So
not
is
a
it-
quota hunt.
Is that just included in the regular season now?
Yep.
Or is it like, they have the landowner?
Yeah,
On at the
landowners are exempt from the license requirement.
Right.
But if you were hunting on private land, previously in years past, you would need that top 94 if you were going to harvest a doe, which I've never really understood that one, but got rid of that, and now you only need top 94 on WMA.
So have y'all looked to see just how many deer one individual can kill from the beginning of bow season till the end of gun season?
It's really unreal.
It is unreal. I can't think of the number. I feel like I did do the math.
We
one
have
day.
figured it out before.
I'm trying
Yeah.
to remember what it is. It's unreal.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Is it still how many does a day can you kill?
Three does a day.
Is that in regular gun season, muzzleloader, and archery?
It is.
Yep.
Do that math over there.
There we go.
Well, so
Let's get the number.
you're starting archery September 23rd?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, this is gonna take a minute. You're gonna have to talk somewhere else.
We can move along for a minute, but yeah. So 3 does a day, $10.
And it starts September 23rd and then ends January 7th. Is that what I'm saying? Pretty
Mhm.
much.
Well, and then
There's
Well,
there's not really a
Probably.
break, right? It
yeah,
goes from
there is a small break from Young Sportsman ends October 29th, and then muzzleloader doesn't start until November 4th.
Yeah.
But then, okay, I'll figure it out.
Yeah, figure
Y'all
it.
just go
yeah,
on.
do some math on that. But yeah, $2 for the entire season, and then 3 does a day for pretty much every bit of that.
Okay, that's fun.
and
Yeah.
so those three bucks are that's it. You're capped. If
Yep.
if you shoot all three of them in archery,
$2
two
$2.
$2. Isn't there a bonus buck somewhere on a hunt?
Well, we can get into the CWD management zone because there's
Then
you
the
can
quota
earn a
hunts,
buck. Yeah, and then you got your quota hunts. And a lot of times, like Laura Hill, if you get drawn for a quota hunt out there,
That doesn't go against your two.
that doesn't go against your 2. That's statewide. And I think they got it fixed. Every one of the quota hunts for Laura Hill is a bonus buck, if I'm not mistaken.
Gotcha.
I've always got to look at those dates too, because
It really just depends, which all our listeners here, I'd say, are probably going to be from this Unit L, which is what we're in. But, for example, if you were over in Unit CWD, which is West Tennessee, you could kill $3 per season, and then they've got that Earn a Buck program and all that.
Is there a reason why? Because I can remember when I hunted a lot, when I had time, it was $4 a year.
well, even prior to that, that's all you could kill. You could get
That's-
tags for
that's right.
bucks.
That's
you could
right.
kill 6, 7, 8 bucks a season.
That's right. And then you couldn't shoot any does until they had a landowner either sex hunt at the end of the year. Like I can remember one time I shot what I thought was a doe, that it was a buck. He'd already lost his horns.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
And that was in like the second week of January or something when they had that landowner hunt.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I mean, what do y'all think? I've heard that insurance companies kind of set the bag limits on deer. Have you ever heard that? That
I'm sure, that their statistics might have a little something to do with our season settings, but we've just got that many deer, and what you see more of is trophy hunters. Everybody's got a cell camera. Everybody's wanting to kill a big deer, so we don't have as many meat hunters anymore, and that's just what it takes to manage these populations, which nobody ever comes close to.
What about the farmers that get the permits? if they apply for a permit, who decides how many deer that they can shoot on that? Does that come from headquarters up in Nashville, or who says that? Because the reason I'm asking is I had a friend of mine who's a big farmer in the area. He got a permit to shoot. I want to say he got 60 or 80 or maybe he got a permit to shoot a lot of them.
We do have standards set by the agency, and that's typically only 30 deer initially on a permit. We can add more deer if you continue to have damage after killing 30 deer on a permit. But we're talking huge farms. We're talking guys that have thousands and thousands of acres they're farming that typically kill into those numbers of deer.
Our SOP is 30 deer per 500 acres, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah, so if somebody's got,
This guy's got thousands and
if
thousands.
he's got over that, that's 30 deer per 500 acres.
So
Now,
we
do
could write it
they
for
have to turn those numbers in?
They do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And are they allowed to keep those deer?
In some situations, they can, and it's all dependent upon it's case by case, essentially. So we can put some restrictions on how and what, who, when, where, and those sorts of things. But of course, we want to see that those deer go to good use. So sometimes, yes, we'll let the permittee or the designees keep deer. We would ask, give them to somebody that's in need. I mean, there's all the time people asking for deer meat. So the only problem is it can be difficult. This time of year.
Sure.
In the growing season, you're talking May, June, July, so it's really hot. So last thing you want to do is give a spoiled deer to somebody, but we certainly try to encourage.
And they're almost always eat up with ticks.
Oh, 100%.
So I don't know if I'd want to eat one in the summertime that's covered with ticks.
Yeah, but we try to make use. Yeah, we encourage them for somebody to eat them if possible.
Now, talking about the WMAs, have we already went past the deadline to put in for those quota hunts?
Do
you know?
I think it was August.
Yeah.
I
I can't remember
believe
the
it was
exact
August.
date, but I'm pretty
Or
sure
July.
that's done past.
Yeah. And I'll see if I can get the past date here. That way, when they say, well, next year, I'll be looking for the deadline.
I can't ever remember. I can't even remember
A lot
to
of
try to
times-
put in for them.
I don't either. Half the time I don't put in for them because I ain't got time to hunt. So
Well,
I
that's
hardly ever
me.
keep up unless somebody calls me like, hey, when's that?
That's
date?
me. But if I got drawn a long time ago for a WMA over in East Tennessee. Might have been Oak Ridge, or it's been so long ago. If I get drawed for a quota hunt, I'll go.
Yeah.
Because it's out of county and it's somewhere off where you got to travel and stay overnight or camp or something. So that would be that. I can't even remember to put in for.
I got it right here, Sheriff. So the WMA big game, so we're talking deer, is going to be June 14th to July 26th, and that was of 2023. So, of course, we missed it, but you can count on every year in that June to July time for WMA big game hunts. Waterfowl, see page 44, so we'll have to go search that one. Because we have a lot of different quota hunts and draw hunts for waterfowl now. Sandhill Crane is September 6th through the 20th, so that's still coming up here pretty soon. That's going to open up. And then the WMA Spring Turkey Quota Hunts is December 20th, 2023 through January 10th, 2024. So that's still coming up.
Yeah.
So we've missed the deer.
I did. I missed it.
But you can still get in on a Sandhill Crane hunt.
I
Sandhill Crane
think I
before?
might go up to Illinois, maybe. I think I might buy a hunt.
There you go.
Can you not bring deer meat back out of town?
You can.
With special restrictions, it's got to be deboned.
I got those right
You got that? You got some flyers here.
Hand those over to you. 'Cause these are also in the hunting guide too, but that's got all of our information about chronic waste and disease.
So your skull plate, it's got to be completely clean from all flesh or tissue, brain matter, all that good stuff. Your meat's got to be deboned. Obviously, the deer's got to be gutted. So there are some restrictions. If you're going to transport them across county lines or state lines.
Yeah, I wouldn't
any
want.
state coming in.
I wouldn't want to go out of state and not bring back what I shot.
Oh yeah, I
absolutely.
don't blame you.
But I can see that
Debone meat.
deboned.
A lot of places that you go and hunt for you will automatically do that for you. You just pay a fee for it to be done.
Have
There you
ever
go.
did that? Do you know?
There you go.
My dad has. He's done it with the elk.
Mm-hmm.
He's went elk hunting before. And
Don't we
he-
have an elk herd in Tennessee now?
We do. We have an elk hunt. You can put in for a.
Have a tag
An elk
draw.
hunt.
Yeah.
But they brought back.
Have I missed the deadline on
the
that?
way that they
Yes, I think
processed
so.
it, they put it into like burgers for them. They cut it into steaks. Like they paid for that before their hunt. It was
I
just
got
all
you.
part of the package.
It is February 7th through February 28th of 2024 will be the
For the drawing?
for the next hunts. Yeah, you
and
missed
when's
this
the
year.
hunt?
So they've got different ones here. They've got archery season, and it all depends on I think when you get drawn, because I think you put in for which seasons you want. So there's a archery season September through the 1st of October. We've got a gun muzzler archery through October 5th through the 11th, and then we actually have a young sportsman gun archery and muzzleloader that's in mid-October. So, and right there shows the different units, the elk hunting units.
That would be so cool.
It'd be
to
awesome.
go elk hunting.
And I have put in for that hunt, but of course I haven't been drawn. So,
How many people? How many people you think put in for it?
I would say hundreds,
Hundreds.
Yes.
I'd say
if
I
not
was.
thousands.
I'd
I was.
say thousands.
I was thinking. Yeah, I was thinking probably 6,000 or 8,000.
Yeah, I mean you're yeah. I mean
And
you're-
how many? How many do they draw? How many?
I think there's only
tags?
8 or 9. Okay, 9.
You got to be
No,
real
maybe 10.
lucky to win that one.
9
10
tags.
with a youth. Yeah, they've been adding them because the herd's getting bigger, and there has been a little bit of pressure from some of the insurance companies about really keeping those herds in check, and so we're trying to do what we can to just and that's when it comes to wildlife management. That's what it's all about, is managing a sustainable wildlife population, but also managing that interaction with people. So when you talk about elk, that can be a big deal. Hitting a deer with your car is obviously can be a huge deal, but you hit an elk with your car, that's
It's a guarantee.
it's an even bigger deal.
It's a guaranteed trip to the emergency room.
That's right.
yeah.
That's just about a guaranteed trip.
Yeah.
And they do damage just like deer. You talk about crop damage. So the agencies has done a lot of work to try to manage and keep these elk in these areas.
Didn't we have a one of the sheriffs over in that area? I was talking to him at our last conference about bear hunting,
Mhm.
and he said, "Oh yeah, we've got a lot of bear in our county, and a lot of people hunt them." Didn't we have a bear attack not long ago over in Sevierville or Gatlinburg or somewhere? Did I not read? Seems like we have 4 or 5 every year, but it seemed to me like seemed like we had one not long ago.
I don't know that we had one in the state.
I haven't heard of one in the state, a bear attack, but
There was one last week, I think, where it was a different state, maybe
It might
New
not.
York.
It might not have been
There was a
Tennessee.
kid in the backyard that got attacked by a bear, and but I don't know of one in Tennessee that we've had.
I don't know of one. No.
Y'all debunked any bears or panthers or mountain lions lately?
Every day is a week,
Yeah.
Sheriff. Every day is a week.
Yeah.
No, we have had some bears moving through. Over in Waynesboro, they actually got some.
There was one
security
roaming downtown in Waynesboro not long ago.
Yeah.
Like maybe a month ago.
Was that a legit? Was that a bear?
It was.
It was
That
a
was
bear.
legit.
It was legit.
not made up.
Yeah.
They had video footage of it
Mm-hmm.
hanging out downtown.
That don't mean they couldn't have photoshopped it or something. These guys right here, they know.
Oh yeah. I mean, I have.
I
I've
can't
had.
believe you would believe them over me. I cannot believe that. I would never lie to you. I remember that.
Oh, man.
Well, wasn't there a mountain lion that was
In West Point that one time.
yeah, that hadn't been all that long ago.
Was that ever proven?
Not to step on any toes here, but we haven't had any confirmed sightings.
Confirmed,
I had-
verified.
I had a guy get so mad at me one time up in Murray County. He called me. He said, "Hey, I've seen a mountain lion." I said, okay, well, did you get some pictures of it or something? He said, well, actually, no, my wife saw it. And I said, okay, well, what'd she see? She said it was like 200 yards off and it jumped out of the woods, then jumped right back in the woods. I said, okay. And I said, well, we haven't had any confirmed sightings in the area. He laughed real big and he said, what does it take to have a confirmed sighting? I just gave you one. And I said, well, a picture for one thing would be nice. Tracks, scat, something like that,
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, well, I'm going to go find you some tracks. Never heard from him. Never found anything.
Maybe his wife wasn't being totally honest with
Well,
him.
Man,
I know it's hard for somebody to believe that somebody's wife would lie to him.
He said she watches the National Geographic. She knows
She knows
what a
exactly what
mountain
it
lion
looks
looks like. Okay. All right then.
I can say this: the picture that I have received of "quote unquote" mountain lions or cougars has either come from the internet or it was not a mountain lion or a cougar.
Mm-hmm.
It was
What are people actually seeing? If
a lot of
you
times
think
Or a bobcat. Maybe.
a bobcat.
I was thinking
Yeah.
bobcat.
Bobcats.
Can they get big like that? Bobcats?
Well, I mean, no,
Not really.
no.
Okay.
I don't know that you could even overlap a full-grown bobcat to
A
a mountain lion kitten.
massive-
You know what I mean?
a
Like that's-
massive bobcat would probably be what, 50, 60 pounds?
That's massive.
Yeah.
That is massive. I don't know that there's even they get that.
Yeah.
big. 40 pounds maybe.
Now I saw, and in my mind it was a big cat, and it was in Murray County. It's back when I worked for that K9 company out of Knoxville, and I was going to do a school search. What's the school in southwest Murray County?
Talking about Culleoka.
No, it was.
Oh,
it was between
you're talking about Hampshire.
Hampshire
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
Santa Fe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was, the GPS had me on all them little side roads going up through there. But anyway, I was coming, and I don't even know what road I was on. But anyway, there was a big cornfield or big bottom on my right, and there was a wood line, probably a couple hundred yards away.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I saw some movement, and I thought it was a deer, so I got pulled off, where I could look. And I swear it was a cat. I swear it was a big cat. The way it was walking, I mean, I could see it good enough. But I never told anybody because I knew everybody would be like, Myers, you didn't see no mountain lion.
And
It's not impossible.
I'm not saying that it's not impossible and that one might possibly come through from time to time, but we don't have populations of mountain
Right,
lions.
and,
No.
and as many people that are in the woods right now, and there's probably more game cameras out there right now.
That's exactly right.
You're going to find if you're putting out bait to bring in animals, and so you can see what's in the area you're hunting, you're going to see.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's where you're going to
Well,
see
that's
that.
like these black bears. We've had 2 or 3 come through and got bunches and bunches and bunches of pictures of them from trail cameras, cell cameras. And in my mind, I think if we had mountain lions, like people say they are,
Yeah.
we would be getting
Oh,
phone
for
calls
sure.
every
Yeah.
day and
Well,
pictures.
we did. We had a verified sighting of a cougar in Tennessee several years ago. It's been 5, 6, 7 years ago now. And you could almost draw a map like a dot because it started in northwest Tennessee up towards like Lake County. There was a verified sighting there from a trail camera. And then it jumped over maybe Henry County or somewhere. There was another picture. And then another one, I think it was on this side of the river, on Tennessee River. Well, then anyways, there was a verified picture in Wayne County of the cat. So, I mean, you could draw a line, almost a map, and see where he was traveling through, and then gone. I
Was
don't
it
know
in
if we went to
Murray County between Hampshire and Santa Fe?
Don't know that we had a confirmed sighting there, a
what
picture.
year was this?
That would have been around the same time.
But yeah, I mean, and as far as we know, that was the same cat. I mean, you could see, it was like I said, it was almost a line in the date range and everything. It was like we were following that cat across the state on all these different trail cameras from hunters, people that submitted. So,
Probably a
Like-
girl cat looking for a man.
that's right.
You know how them girl cats are. They're always out looking for a man. That's
Prowling.
probably what it was. Went across the whole state
Yep.
trying to hook up.
They wanted
Trying to
cougars,
put her claws in some poor boy cat.
All I can say is, use some common sense, and that's all there is to it. I mean, Like I said, I'm not going to discredit what somebody sees because I don't know what somebody sees.
Now I think we did have a good a wild hog population in our area in Lawrence County and Wayne County and Lewis County. This was probably 12, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I can remember it was probably the first or second day of bow season, and I was hunting on our farm up in Summertown, and I was hunting by this little pond. And I remember seeing some tracks when I hung my stand that didn't look like they were hooves, but they weren't deer tracks. And I remember thinking, I wonder what that is. Well, next morning here comes a hog down there to that water to drink, and I'm sitting there looking at it, going, I can't believe what I'm seeing. You know, I never would have dreamed in a million years that a wild hog was going to come up. And then I get to thinking, well, I wonder if that's not wild. I wonder if that's somebody's pet that got
that's
out.
possible too.
Well, I thought about it for about 3 seconds, and I went clank.
Ground checked him, huh?
So where I was hunting, there's a house, maybe, I don't know, 400 or 500 yards away. Well, as this hog is starting to die out, it's screaming bloody murder. And I'm thinking, I don't even know if I can shoot a hog. I don't know if there's a season on a hog. I don't know anything about this. So I'm thinking, will you just die and quit making all this noise? Because everybody in back here is going to know.
So I shot him again.
And this was back when we didn't even have smartphones. I think I had some kind of a flip phone or something in my truck. So I walked back to my truck and I called a friend of mine. This was before apps and all this stuff. And I called him up and I said, hey. And he said, what's up? And I said, I need you to get the hunter's guide out and look something up for me. And he says, all right, give me a minute. And he finds his hunter's guide, and I said, look up hogs and tell me if there's a season on them. And he thumbs through the pages for a minute, and he says, nope. He said, there's no season, and there's no bag limit. There's no nothing. I said, perfect. Go get a big cooler and put a bunch of ice in it. I said, I just shot one. He says, you're kidding me. And I says, no, I'm serious. One came up back here when I was bow hunting. So anyway, he showed up, and we loaded it in the truck, and I took it to an Amish guy that I knew cleaned hogs.
Yeah.
He gutted it, scraped it, split it, and for $20.
Can't beat that.
We dropped it off. I went to the house, and it done got hot. It done got like 80 degrees. I went to the house, showered, put on some shorts and flip-flops, went back and got it and put it in the cooler, and he went to his house and got his smoker going, and we had it on a smoker that evening.
Really?
It worked out perfect. But when I called him up and I said, I need you to check something out. He said, what'd you do, Myers? And I said, I'll tell you in a minute. Just look and see if there's a season on hogs.
You weren't the first, and you won't be the last.
But yeah, back then there was no season, there was no bag
open.
limit. They was called, what did they call them?
Like a nuisance.
A nuisance animal. Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then I heard Wayne
Destructive.
County had a big problem with them for a while.
Huge problem. That's an understatement.
Right?
They're extremely destructive animal.
Do you ever hear of anybody around here shooting anymore? Or
We don't get really. I haven't had a report yet. We did have a little bit of a scare not long ago. We were going down Wayland Springs, towards the south end of the county, and we look over there with some of the big farmland down there, and there's some stuff milling around out in the field, and we get to looking. Well, that's hogs. We're like, golly, I hope we don't have another population of hogs. Well, come to find out that somebody's pen had got busted down, and their hogs had got out.
Yeah.
Well, this was a wild hog. I mean, it wasn't somebody's, or it might have been a feral hog, or I don't know. It had the real thick, coarse hair on the back, you know, and had the tusk. They was already starting to bust through, you know. I don't know where it come from, and I don't know how it got back there. All I know is that I thought about it for about 3 seconds. Mm-hmm. And we ate him. And we ate him that night, Maddie. How much time we got?
You got 10 minutes.
What do y'all want to talk about now?
Oh, The only thing, like I said, we did have a little bit of a change on the chronic wasting disease as far as the, what am I looking for, Ethan?
Transporting them.
The transportation and feeding restrictions. So last year, or the years prior to this year, we had like positive counties, and then you had high-risk counties that were, within a certain mileage of a positive case. And then, which, like, Wayne County last year was high risk because of that case in Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
It barely clipped that south end of Wayne County that made Wayne County high risk. But now, it's a little different. So it's the CWD management zone, and so there's no more positive and high risk counties. It's all a CWD management zone, feeding and carcass transportation. So it simplifies things in a way. I guess that was probably the thought behind it. So it just allowed you now, whereas last year you couldn't take a deer from, like, say, Fayette and Hardin County, that hot zone where a lot of these cases are coming from. You couldn't take those over into Wayne County. That was just considered high risk. Now you can, which I'm not really a big fan of, because, again, you might be taking a positive deer into a location that we don't know that it's actually there. It's just being looked at because of the proximity of another positive location. So that has changed. So I would encourage anybody listening, if you hunt in Wayne County or west of the Tennessee River, Hardin County, west of the river, some of that's changed with the chronic wasting regulations.
Now, what happens if you consume a deer that has that? I mean, are you going to get sick too?
Well,
In the studies, they haven't shown, CWD isn't a new thing as far as it's been out west for years and years.
Right.
And elk populations and, mule deer. But there's been a lot of study done on it, and they haven't confirmed that humans can contract this and it affects them. So if you're worried, my recommendation would be, if you're worried about it being sick, just don't eat it, but
Don't roll the dice.
don't roll the dice because you can't cook it out. It takes like 1,500 degrees just to denature that prion. So
I don't know that I
Yeah,
want to eat
deer-
something that's hit 1,500 degrees.
Yeah, well, I mean, yet deer this time of year, they're kind of poor looking anyway. Like I said, a lot of them's covered with ticks. And they're thin. They hadn't started, beefing up and got that winter coat, and they just look thicker and healthier and heavier.
Right.
I remember one year I shot a deer that had a gimp leg. I don't know if it was from an injury or what. But it was pitiful. It was pitiful, and I didn't eat it. I just drug it off and let the coyotes have dinner that evening.
There's other critters that need to eat. So.
But yeah, I wasn't. I mean, chances are it was fine, but I wasn't gonna take a chance on
it's
it.
like Josie Wells says, buzzards got to eat too.
Yep, just like the one of them.
That's right.
Clint Eastwood maybe.
But yeah, I mean that's all. We would encourage anybody to. Personally, you got to make that decision. Scientifically, it hasn't been proven to cross over into humans, from deer, but I don't want to be the first guy, I don't want to be that case study, be the first one.
No.
That would be my luck.
Sure, right,
Exactly.
I just didn't want to.
And chronic wasting disease affects their basically their will to live, right? Am I saying that right?
Their brain, it deteriorates their brain and their muscles. Basically, I mean, it's a really bad way to go. Once they contract it, it's 100% fatal. And I think the equivalent of that for humans is Crotchfield-Jacobs.
Yes.
I think I'm saying that right. But like I was talking about a minute ago, out west, they haven't seen an increase in that either. So.
Mad cow disease is a variant, very similar.
I thought humans could get that.
Yeah, I thought so
Yeah,
too.
and they can. Well, as far as I know, they can. Like he's saying that. I mean,
Well, when it broke out, I remember it breaking out a long time ago, and they wouldn't let you
So
You got that twice that year, didn't you?
I did.
Didn't you get mad cow twice that
I
year?
was probably panicking as a child and was like, I'm not eating any type of beef.
And that's where the concern
Done.
is, because there's similar diseases.
Yes.
These prions, jacked up prions is what it is, a jacked up protein that has crossed into humans. So, you know, it's never been proven or found that CWD will do that. But, you know, there's other closely related diseases that have. So, gotta be careful.
Yeah. Well, let's recap. Dove season opens up tomorrow at noon, right? And then every day after that, it opens up at daylight
That's correct.
and runs till dark.
Yep.
So make sure you got your plug, Maddie. Make sure you got your plug and your shotgun.
Yes.
Make sure you got your migratory bird permit with your small game license.
Mm-hmm.
If you see germinated seed and new seed on the
Right.
ground, go back to your truck, unload your gun.
Tell them that you have
Don't-
to go to work.
Yep.
Work call.
Try not to lie, but don't stay in the field.
Yeah.
Don't snitch anybody out. I mean, if they're doing it, they'll get caught. You know, you don't want your friends mad at you because you called.
Sorry, I got a work phone call.
There's a hotline, a tip hotline, a concerned citizen. You don't have to name
Sorry, I'm
yourself.
not doing that. I'm just going to let y'all know right now. I ain't calling you.
She's got y'all's cell number. She'll just text you.
Nope, I'm not reporting anything.
What looks bad is when you
I'm
leave and then you
told
get caught.
That if anything illegal happens while I'm there, not to call.
But she's winking
It
at
tells
me.
me that all the time.
She's winking at me at the same time. I don't know what that's about.
Right.
If you get caught in anything illegal, do not call me. That's what he says. So,
From the scene of the crime. That's what I say. Don't call me from the scene of the crime. Call me when you make bail.
Yep.
Yeah. And archery season's opening up the end of September.
Mm-hmm.
We don't
September
have
23rd.
we don't have any more hunts. When don't we have a squirrel season opening up?
Squirrel season is open.
it's already open.
It opened last weekend.
I see. That's another reason I don't know why anybody would want a squirrel hunt right now because they're
Man, it
they're
is
covered with.
miserably
They've got.
hot.
I saw one at the golf course last week that looked like he had like 4 or 5 wolves.
Well, did you
on
know
him.
that you can hunt quail, beaver, coyote, groundhogs, skunks, and armadillos year round?
Did you say quail?
Not quail.
It said quail 3, quail 5. Nope, never mind, I was lying. Just kidding. I misread. That's November 4th. Don't hunt quail until
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
then.
don't
not-
do that. Not that we have any quail. But
Did you ever figure up how many deer somebody can kill?
I would say if I missed a couple of days, give or take anywhere from 320 to 330.
There you go.
So you can legally kill
I
300 plus
the
deer a
exact
year.
number I got was 327, but I might have missed a couple days or added a couple.
That would
days.
be about right. Yeah. there's roughly 100 days of deer season.
I got like
Wow.
104.
Yeah, that'd be about right.
I got you.
It's crazy.
327 deer.
Yeah.
Goose season. Goose season also opens tomorrow, and that's daylight.
You got to have a different license for that, right?
gotta have
do.
a federal duck stamp.
A federal duck stamp.
Waterfowl license.
Oh, so you got to have a different license and a duck stamp.
Yep. Type 01, a type 05, which is your statewide waterfowl. Your migratory bird and your federal duck stamp. And if you're hunting on public land or WMA, you would need a WMA waterfowl stamp. Now, to just wrap that all up in a nice, easy package, buy your sportsman's. Or that's what I do.
Simplest, and probably be cheaper to do it that
Your
way.
sportsman's
as well.
license.
What's a sportsman's license cost now?
It's
160
something.
160 something.
166.
That's went up.
Yeah,
I think the
has.
last
It
time
has.
I bought one, it was right around $100.
It's been like that for a few years now.
Has it?
Yeah.
See, I don't. I hunt on our farm up in Summertown on that landowner's exemption. So I very seldom go outside of that unless I get an invite somewhere. But anyway, we're about out of time. man.
Yep, we got 2 seconds.
All right. Goodbye, all. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.